Absolutely. President Jacob Zuma last night giving the ladies quite a tongue lashing, saying also that they seem like to be concentrating more on the elective part of the Congress and forget the contents of what they're supposed to be discussing here. But currently, Natasha, the delegates are locked, except for these ones, of course, who are milling around, are locked inside. They're discussing three reports: the Treasury report, the Constitutional Amendment report, and the Organizational report. But to give us a bit more information, to flesh it out, I just a few minutes ago spoke to Edna Molewa, who is one of the members of the National Executive Committee.
Discussing the organizational report, and in fact it was tabled yesterday, it was discussed this morning together with two other reports. So this morning at 9 we started discussions on organizational report. We received the Treasurer's report. We also received the constitutional amendments. As at this moment, the organizational report has already been adopted. The Treasurer's report is about to be adopted. Now we're left with the constitutional amendments. These three reports are still going to be discussed in the commissions. As the president of the ANC and the president of the Women's League said yesterday, there's going to be unity, there's going to be discussions and thorough discussions on these reports, so that that's where we actually have to draw resolutions, where the gaps are, how we're going to actually fill them in. After these reports are adopted, before we go to commissions, there will be now the Electoral Commission and the agency coming in to finalize the processes of elections. And in that process, it means that the work that had already been done by the agency as election since the beginning of this process early this year, of receiving nominations from branches up to provincial general councils, will now be consolidated, with the result that they will be calling for additional names, if there are, from the floor of the top 5. And therefore, if there are, they will be added if they reach threshold. If they are not there, then the names that have come through from the branches will be appearing on the ballot paper. The commission will go and finalize the ballot paper, whilst the meeting will now be breaking into smaller meetings as commissions. And as we are discussing commissions throughout the day, they will now be calling of the delegates, commission by commission, to go and vote. Before the end of tonight, there will be announcements, at least expected to be announcements, of the top 5 officials.
She also spoke about, Natasha, a bit of the issues of unity that President Jacob Zuma spoke about last night as well, that those signs that you had mentioned earlier, that include the peace sign and the rolling of hands, are not necessary, because it would mean that afterwards it creates some divisions within the members of ANC Women's League. But we'll be bringing you all those, because there are also elections of the new leadership a little later on today, Natasha.
Thank you very much. That's Yolisa Njamela talking there to Edna Molewa, live from Irene at the ANC Women's League conference.